What I want to accomplish is showing people that Christian hip hop music can evolve. You don't have to be stuck in a space of mediocrity. We can compete with the big dogs. We have created a formula that I feel like can expand outside of what CHH has usually been.
Coming live on your radio. What they want? That real and raw. How they get it? DJ Focus. What we doing? Making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the kingdom. And we gon' make sure they know it. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it. Saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detax, and we got a special one for y'all today. It ain't all the time we have, Grammy Award-winning songwriters come through, producers who have been doing some powerful things, not only in our space, but also in the mainstream space too as well. Mm-hmm. But we are excited because, she got a lot of new exciting news to share with y'all. She got a faith journey that I know is amazing that she want to share with y'all, and a lot more. Drea the GOAT, aka Alexandria Dollar, is in the building. What up, sis?
What's up? What's up? How are y'all?
We good. How
Wonderful,
you?
Drea. Come on now.
I'm doing great. Busy, but amazing stuff happening.
Yes. A lot of amazing stuff happening with you, and we want to definitely talk about it. But first, come on and share a little bit of your journey. Share a little bit of what God has shown you spiritually through your faith journey over the years. It kind of groomed you into who you are today.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I really wanted to be an artist. So I did I was trying to be a rapper. I wrote like a single with Mason Betha and just really tried to kind of take that all the way. But I ended up having a really good meeting with Sony, and the questions that they were asking me really kind of provoked me to look deeper into what I really wanted. And I felt like at that moment, 16, 17, I didn't really know who I was as a person. So that kind of shifted my whole journey. I kind of stepped back from trying to be an artist and really started exploring with other things in the media space outside of music. And I just kind of made up in my mind after that meeting, not too long after that meeting, that I didn't really want to be an artist. I felt like I didn't know myself. I still had a lot of growing to do. And a lot of people kind of have like the opposite story where they sign a deal and they do all this stuff. But I had some identity issues. So I started picking up the camera and editing and producing and stuff like that. And I got into the media space for a good amount of time, probably about 8 years. And after I kind of hit the ceiling with that, I started thinking about just passion again and what I could do that didn't feel like a job and didn't feel like, like it was work and draggy to do. So that's when I saw a post on, I think, 1K Fuse page. We go pretty far back as far as our relationship. So I follow him, and I saw that Reach was hiring for A&R position. So I applied, um, just out of faith, like not really. I didn't really know about Reach, to be honest. The music that I was doing back then was a little bit more like sync heavy. My sister was signed to a Disney publishing deal, so we were doing a lot of just television stuff. And being a pastor's kid, to be honest, y'all, like I never really gravitated to the Christian hip hop space. I always felt like it was super corny, and I couldn't really relate as far as like the quality of music. So I always kind of stayed away from that. So I was just intrigued, really, when I saw that post. I was like, let me apply and just see what happens. So it was like a really long process. It was like 3 or 4 interviews, a lot of back and forth, but I ended up getting the position. And that kind of introduced me to the space. And I kind of hit the ground running when I went to Reach. My first project that I ever worked on up there was CC4. And I worked on about, I would say like 90% of the project, whether that was songwriting, speaking into the production, vocal producing, Craig just kind of opened his arms to me and just trust me without even like knowing who I was and what I could do, and just really gave me the opportunity to help cultivate that project with them. So really, y'all, ever since then, it's kind of been crazy. And just building with a lot of different artists on the roster, and it's kind of just it's been birthed since that moment, to be honest. So yeah.
The whole fact, I know I'm coming right to you, Dice, but the
No,
whole
you're
fact that
fine.
she said the first project she worked on at Reach was Church Clothes 4, and how she didn't even know this space, and how she just walked in the door and
Yeah.
would arguably
Just
probably the best in our genre. She just happened to
album.
walk in the door and say, "Oh, by the way, come help Cray out," and Cray just gave you his baby like that. Like, come on now, that just speaks to the volume of the work. Listen, it was already predestined for you, sis. It was already predestined. That
Thank
that,
you.
that just did something to me, Dice. I'm like, wow. Could you imagine, Dice? You walking in the door, Reach first day, and you're like, oh, by the way, go in the studio with Cray all day. Just go hang out with him.
No, it makes no sense. I was just sitting there like, in my mind, I'm like, do you even know?
Yes, right.
Like
I
What is
didn't
going
know.
on?
like,
I
it's
didn't know,
like,
y'all. I didn't know
it's
the
like,
legacy of Church Close 1, 2, and 3. I didn't know anything. All I knew was Lecrae song, Coming In Hot, and I'll Find You. That
Wow.
was pretty much it. So my dynamic with him, I wasn't nervous.
I see.
I was just quiet. I was like a fly on the wall, just really trying to understand
Mm.
him and how he works. And they just told me like my first week that church closed floor that they scraped the whole project. And it was like a full project already done. So when I came in, I just had a big directory of a whole bunch of producers. So I was like, okay, let me know what I can do. And they were like, run it. Like, do whatever you want.
That's all
It was
God,
crazy.
man. That's
It
all
was
God.
crazy.
Because I was thinking about that. Like anybody who would have known the previous, they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have done the right thing, and it definitely
Facts.
probably would have been self motivated. Like selfish. So it would have been some stuff stuck up in there. I know I would be like, okay, so I need to be on all of these songs. I mean, I
I
know
had no
I'm
idea,
not.
y'all. No idea.
I
No
love that.
idea. Yeah. I think when
I
it
love.
came out, it was more so of like, oh, this is a true treasure to the
Yeah,
CHH community.
yeah.
So that's kind of when everything clicked for me. But I was
Mm,
just so happy that like to be able to work with someone at that caliber, and to learn so much from Cray, like I feel like that's where our chemistry was really birthed, with CC4, because I just wasn't coming in with any motives, and I
yeah.
wasn't trying to, change his sound or any of that. I was just trying to help get some stuff going because it just seemed like, it was kind of at a standstill. So I was just trying to meet deadlines and do my job, to be honest. And it ended up coming out great.
It came out amazing. Let's be very clear. It came out very amazing. So, thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. What's one misconception you can debunk as a growing up as a PK? What's one misconception you can say that that ain't really it? Growing up as a PK. Yeah, talk about that a little bit because we love when we get PKs on.
Misconception. I don't really know. I guess it's more so of everybody thinking that, I don't know, like I think with my parents being really known, people always kind of connected like my success to them. And that's kind of why I was really drawn to the songwriting and producing space because um literally my parents can't sit there and pick up my hand and tell me what words to write now. So whatever comes from what I'm doing creatively is all me. So I think that when you're kind of connected with such a big name like that, people can automatically try to say, oh, well, she's only done this because of her parents, or she's only been able to
Mm,
accomplish this because of where she comes from. But, you know, songwriting and the creative and singing and rapping, all that stuff has to be birthed. It has to be like talent actually inside of someone for it to, manifest the way it does. So I think that's the biggest annoyance kind of for me is always having to, I don't do it anymore, but I've always felt like I had to kind of prove myself to separate, where I come from versus what I'm doing now.
And go ahead and shout your parents out for those who don't know, because yeah, she's
I
so
was like,
humble the
somebody
way she
don't
say
know.
things.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well,
What?
I don't think people put two and two together sometimes. So again, shout your parents out for those who may not know who your parents are when you talk about pastors.
Yeah. My dad is Creflo Dollar. My mom's Taffy Dollar.
Yes, yes,
At World Changers here in Atlanta. So yeah.
yes, yeah. Huge impactors in our space. So let's be very clear. So
The
yes,
world.
listen.
The
I'm
whole
gonna shout your
planet.
parents out.
The whole
Yes,
Yeah.
planet.
come on
Shout
now.
out to them.
They have changed the world, and they have brought up a
Yes.
lot of pastors, ministered to a lot of pastors where they're impacting their congregation. So
Oh
yes,
yeah.
shouts out to your peoples for doing that. So yes, definitely.
Shout out to them. Legendary. The legends.
That
Yes,
has to
they
be
are.
tough.
Yes,
That has to be tough, though. And honestly, true story, Drea. I did not know who your parents were initially at all. So for me, I was in awe
Good.
about the whole Tasha Cobbs, the Cray record. Like I was like, what? This girl's coming on here? Hold on. So, what? Listen, what is that like though? Because initially you were talking about how you were insecure in some ways. You didn't want to be an artist. You were kind of trying to find your way. So like, what was that like 10 years ago versus now? You know what I'm saying? Like, who was that person versus the person that you are now or what you know now?
To be honest, I know it looks very cool and stuff on the outside, but it was difficult, growing up. Everybody kind of like looking and kind of waiting on you to mess up. That's how I felt.
Mm,
Very judgmental space, just kind of always being looked at upon the congregation and just people always in your business, and
mm,
kind of invading your privacy. So it's a blessing and a curse because at the same time, running into members or people who know my parents in certain situations, it ends up being a blessing, depending on whatever situation it is. And then sometimes so everyone doesn't like them. Some people have bad things to say or disagree with some of the stuff that they teach about. So it's kind of like a 50-50. But I think now I'm super confident and secure in myself,
mm,
and I have fully walked into my calling and I know who I am. So I honestly, really love and respect everything they've done and the support that they give to us. But I don't really even kind of dwell or think on how the connection is made, to be honest. So that's why when people be like, "Oh, I didn't know who you were, or your parents," I don't really know what. I've never been the type to kind of just walk into situations and say, "Oh,
use their
my name is this and my parents are that."
mm,
I just always thought that was super corny. So
it
I've
is,
kind of
by the
like,
way. I'm just throwing it
yeah,
out there.
like,
facts,
Very corny.
facts.
Very, very
yeah,
corny. Go
And
ahead,
I know
focus.
I know your parents raised you better than that, because yeah,
Right,
you
right.
have your own identity
Right.
too as well,
Yeah, yeah.
and you your own boss too. So I salute you for doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what would you have told yourself 10 years ago versus now? Like knowing who you are and who God's called you to be.
I would say don't be afraid to pivot. Because I used to be very married to like, I want to be an artist, I want to be an artist, I want to be an artist. But I never thought about, like people don't understand the pressure that comes with being an artist and really knowing who you are. So you could
Mm,
go viral, you can have all these streams and all this stuff, but when you get into these meetings and these interviews and people are asking, what inspired this and what's your message, what's your story? All those things kind of overwhelmed me, and I'm like, I don't know. I just like to make music. So I think people nowadays, they're just so married to this idea of what they see themselves doing versus being open to exploring new things and teaching yourself new ways of doing things that may open up a door in a whole nother profession instead of being married to what you wanted to be when you were 10 years old, you know?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this transition from leaving Reach, and we got a new deal, huh? I heard
Well,
some shmoney in the air. I
shmoney,
know your last name
shmoney,
Dollar, but I
shmoney,
heard some
shmoney,
shmoney in there. I
shmoney.
think this
You gotta
this is a
change it to
nice little
shmoney.
deal. Yeah, shmoney. Yeah, shouts
Shmoney.
out to Cardi. Shmoney.
Hey,
That's
shmoney. Hey, shmoney in the
hilarious.
building. Hey, shmoney.
That's
Come
so
on,
funny.
talk about this new deal you got.
Yeah, so recently really this month, I officially started as a senior director of A&R at Capital CMG. So praise God for that. Super, super excited and grateful and humbled and all those great things. So yeah, I've primarily been building with Child Like Cece. That's kind of like the first project I've been working on with her. Really excited about her.
Super
Um,
excited.
really, really happy about her new single that just came out called Rest of My Life. I was able to help produce and write on that with her. So I'm excited about Child Like CC, and I'm also going to be overseeing a new division called TAMLA. I think right now we just have Emmanuel the Prophet, but I'm really focused on building
She
that
said that so
with.
easy, bro. Go ahead,
She
keep
say
going.
stuff
Keep going.
so easy.
Go.
So you
I know
already had
just
Child Like CC, and then now you get
Emmanuel
the Drill King, Emmanuel the Prophet, the Drill King. So
The
you just
Jesus,
drill
Joseph, and Mary. It's like what?
Listen,
Go ahead.
and it's really the beginning. Like I'm really planning a little, internal takeover. So
Go. Let's go.
I've been just, building and talking to some people and just trying to figure out what works best for both parties. But I'm
Mm,
so excited about what we're doing at Tamala. Me and Walter is VP of
yeah.
Artist Development at Motown Gospel and Tamala as well. So me and him have been working closely together just week to week, trying to build an unstoppable roster. But we have a
mm.
lot of exciting things coming that I think are gonna blow people away. So yeah,
Oh my goodness. Senior Director of A&R at Capital
crazy.
CMG in Nashville.
Yes,
A
yes.
Shmoney. Huh?
Like
What?
this is like a. Was this even 2 years? Was this even a 2 year process? Because like, were you even at Reach for 2 years? What, a
Yeah,
year?
I
how
was
long?
at Reach. I was at Reach for exactly 2 years.
Exactly 2 years. So you go to Reach exactly 2 years. So it just at Reach, win a Grammy, then you just bump up and just get this senior. Oh my goodness, tell me what God won't do. You know, this is amazing. Listen,
That's
talk
insane.
to the people a little bit. Give the maybe an inspire songwriter or producer some tips
Yeah.
on what does it take to be a great songwriter and producer.
Ooh, some tips. Okay, what I would say is it's really important to create with people who are better than you. That's
Mm,
super duper important. I can't stress that more than anything. My whole approach and level of songwriting changed when I started basically getting mentored by my older sister.
mm,
She's been doing this for over, 15 years. And like we've always been close, but we've been more like hangout buddies than like working buddies. So we started a company called IV Music Group about 2 years ago. It's fairly new. But we've really locked arms the last, I say, like 3, 4 years. And when it comes to creating and making music with her, I mean,
mm,
I've become 10 times more better just from being in the room with people who are, on paper better than me and creatively better than me.
mm.
So that's one thing I would say. Another thing I would say would be just don't be afraid to be innovative. I feel like in the space that we're in, everything is so redundant. From
Mm,
the topics to song titles to the beats, even to like the tone and delivery. Everything has the potential to just sound the same. So I gravitate to production that makes you excited immediately. I gravitate to cadences and melodies that don't sound like something that's already been done, and just really pushing myself to think outside of the box and not just go with the first thing that comes. And then the last thing I would say is play your music and get feedback from people who are going to tell you the truth,
that's
right?
good.
So it's going to be a different, for me, my go-to's are my cousin or my mom or my sisters, because I know they've heard so much music. My mom had a record label back in the day, so she's very honest with me when it comes to giving me feedback on my songs and stuff like that. So I'll go to people who I know aren't gonna just tell me what I want to hear.
Mm,
And the people who have a more distinct ear versus the people who are just gonna, respond and tell you what you want to hear. So don't be so quick to just go to your comfort zone when it comes to feedback. Go to the people who are really gonna give you real feedback.
man, that's a gem. Yep. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are you excited to work with at your new home? Because I mean, okay, give me your top 3. Because you have a different access now. I mean, I'm not saying
Yes.
you will, but I'm saying if you could, and you know where you are now, like, is there anybody in your mind where you're like, man, I would really love to maybe partner with that artist on this type of thing or that type of
Yeah.
group or band? Yeah,
I
man,
really want to work with Ty Tribbett.
come on.
That's I now that's someone when I was younger, I really like our house was we were Ty Tribbett fans. We love Ty
We were,
Tribbett.
I love it.
I'm excited about the music coming out with Ariel Fitzpatrick. I pretty much worked
Yes.
on
That's
her
family.
whole EP.
That's
Yeah.
family. That's family.
Really
Yeah.
excited about her music coming out. I think it's gonna be really good. I think people are gonna enjoy it. Like I said, Cece, me and Cece are gearing up on some more songs. So I'm really
CC.
excited about her. And honestly, the people that I'm super duper excited about, equally with them, I just can't talk about yet.
Okay.
I got you. I got you.
Not
Well,
yet, but
when we get
it's
off here,
Okay.
coming.
can you talk about
Yeah. So I do want to ask: are you
that?
still able to work with some of the Reach artists still, or is that just you can't do it because of your contract you're under now?
Contractually.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I have a team of people. It's like, honestly, I've been at Reach for a good amount of time to where I have a team of producers and songwriters to where, we pretty much cultivated a formula and a sound. So it's kind of like, it just depends. Every situation is kind of different. But I'm never really turning down work. It's just like it just depends on what I got going on. I'm really focused on building at Capital CMG right now and just kind of moving forward to what's next, which was like a big part of why I moved on from Reach.
Mhm.
Nothing bad to say ever about them. Like everything was amazing from the day I stepped in that building. Everybody's been super amazing. I just felt personally that there was a potential for me to get really comfortable. I felt myself getting comfortable after the Grammy win. And to be honest, I really kind of manifested and prayed over that whole process, with your power. So to see that come to fruition, it was kind of like, I felt like that was just kind of the icing on the cake for me. And
Mm.
what more do I need to do? Even though
Yeah.
it's just been 2 years, it's like we got 2 Grammys, a Dove, a Stellar. Like there was kind of like I was kind of hitting the roof with it. So I felt
Mm.
like it was just time for me to shake it up a bit, make some calls, and just see, if there was space for me to grow. And I didn't want to get comfortable at Reach. And I kind of felt myself doing that. So I was like, let me get out of my comfort zone and kind of make sure I stay, in a place where I can be teachable and like grow and learn more.
What's your thoughts on them signing Jackie Hill Perry? What's your thoughts on that? I know you were in the ATL and you know that vibe of everybody of Jackie teaching, but Jackie back rapping again and signing with Reach. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to work with Jackie on the song that she put out when she announced it. Her and my producer. So
Listen,
I was
Drea the
actually,
GOAT. Drea the GOAT. Are y'all listening to what in 2 years? These are classic timeless hits that
Go ahead.
listen,
Go
the
ahead.
next
Go
30
ahead.
years, people are gonna be listening. She's just so humble. She humble like
oh,
peach cobbler. I mean, just I
Go
I
ahead.
worked with Jackie.
I worked on that.
Jackie's great. Like she was actually my very last session at Reach.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's when we made the first draft record. And I met her up there and she built the record and stuff with us in person. So she's great. I think it's great. I was really pushing for some female energy
Yeah.
because this space is so male heavy. I've always said that since day one, even on the studio side, just really trying to push for more women, especially Black women. So I was happy that happened, and they have someone additionally to what Wanda is doing. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's gonna really go to the next level with her over there.
When it's all said and done, Drea, what do you want the people to remember you by? What's that? What's your last words before God send you to heaven? What would you want people to know about everything you've done, you're looking to do, already have accomplished? Like, what's those things you would want to leave? Those last words.
um, what I want to accomplish is showing people that Christian hip hop music can evolve, and we don't have to, be stuck in a space of mediocrity, and we can compete with, the big dogs. And we have created a formula that I feel like can expand outside of what CHH has usually been. So I think when people listen to the stuff that I'm a part of, I just want them to be inspired to really push themselves to make bigger records, to make bigger statements, and to compete at a higher level instead of doing what has been done for the last 20 years. Pretty simple, to be honest, but yeah.
That's
I
what's
love
up.
that.
That's what's up.
We're
The
so proud
legend
of you,
herself.
girl.
I'm giving her legend status already.
What?
Legend herself.
She is a legend now.
Alexandria Dollar, Drea the Goats.
Thank
Hey,
you.
We
Shmoney.
appreciate you, sis.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shmoney.
Hey, Shmoney in the
Hey,
building.
Shmoney.
We appreciate you coming through, kicking it with us. Please tell the people how they
Mm.
connect with you, following you on all your social media platforms.
Yeah, you can follow me at Drea the Goat _ on Instagram. I'm not really on anything else, but you can follow me on there. And yeah, just hit me up if y'all need anything, or thank you for having me. I've always see this on my timeline, so I'm honored to be
We outside.
on. And I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for what y'all are doing in this space too as well. It's very, very needed. So thank y'all
That's
for having me.
for sure. Drea
Yeah,
the
thank
Goat.
you.
Listen, keep
Thank
it locked.
you.
We got to go to a quick break. We'll be right back with
Yeah.
more. You tapped into the Fixx.
And the Fixx is in.